All right, so Miss Williams again, I'm going to talk about how you're going to be taking your test in this online class. You will be taking 4 unit exams and the final. Now, the final will be proctored. The 4 unit exams you are to take on your own on the honor system. Okay, so before you get to rejoicing and thanking Jesus that you don't have to have a proctor, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the protocol for taking those exams. These exams need to be taken in a testing environment as close to what you would be doing if you were taking this on campus. So you still need to do the review. You still need to prep yourself for these tests because they are timed. And if you're adequately prepared for these tests, you should have plenty of time. I'm allowing 65 minutes for you to complete the exam, which is more than enough time. And because it's taken on the honor system, I can't really stop you from using your notes or using friends and that kind of thing. So I'm hoping that you're not cheating, but just to be on the safe side, I've put in an extra barrier of protection in that if you try to open up any homework assignment or internet browser, or you have an instant messaging app or anything like that, email even, if you try to open up another program while you're taking your unit exam, it's going to freeze and shut down your account. So you will not be able to complete the rest of your exam, and you won't be able to complete anything else until you send me an email and say, oops, I was trying to open other pages and my exam froze. Okay. The reason I do this is because I know that sometimes we'll forget to turn off our email or instant messenger, and I'd hate for somebody to fail a test because their mom emailed them or whatever, and that little pop-up came up and your test got froze. So it's not to be evil. It is just to make sure that we are not using outside sources for help. Okay, so again, everyone is going to get 2 exams. If your test freezes, if you get kicked out for any reason, anything like that, that's just going to count as one of your exams. So make sure you have everything on your desktop or your laptop or whatever you're taking your test on. Make sure you have everything disabled for notifications while you take that exam. Also, when you're taking your exam, you want to make sure that you allow yourself the full amount of time. And so you have to sit down and take it in one sitting. You can't pause it and come back to it later. So make sure you're prepared and that you have enough time set aside. The other thing is, because this is online and we have the exams already made and all the assignments are in there, you can actually take your exam whenever you're ready to. So even if the exam isn't until 2 weeks in the future, if you've done all your homework and you've done the review and you're ready to take it, you can go in and you can work ahead. Now, the only thing I will warn you about is if you take your exam early. I have it set to where nobody can see the result of their exam until after the date of the exam. Okay, and this includes your 2 attempts. So if you go in, you're not going to be able to see, you'll be able to see what you got on the exam, but you're not going to be able to review it and see which problems you missed and that type of thing. Okay, so if you take your exam early, just know you're not going to be able to review the results of it in depth, question by question, until the date of that exam actually comes and goes. Okay, all right, so that is unit exams. Don't cheat. Okay, hopefully it won't freeze your account. If it does freeze your account, you need to email me as soon as possible so I can reopen it and make sure that doesn't happen again. Okay, all right, and the only other thing we need to talk about is your final. So when you're taking your final exam, this exam will be proctored. It has to be proctored either by the testing center that we have here at Eastern, our Disabilities Testing Services Center, or you have to use a legit proctor, okay, which means a testing center at a college or a 2-year institution, okay? You cannot use a public library or some teacher that you know or some principal or a high school, anybody, or someone you know who's really good at math, nothing like that. Okay, it has to be a testing center. And the reason that we require that you use a testing center is because we want to make sure that we're upholding our end on academic integrity, because it is possible to do really well in the course and like completely bomb the final and still pass the class. Now, if somebody cheated their way to those amazing grades that they got leading up to the final exam, it's not really fair that they should pass the class. So for that reason, we make sure that everybody has a legit proctor that is a trusted source for us. And also, we have an added stipulation that if you do not pass the final exam, you do not pass the class. And that may seem a little bit harsh, But we feel like if you're doing good, anybody who's going to pass the class should be able to pull at least a 60% on the final, which is a passing grade for college algebra. So know going into the final that your ID will be checked. You have to have a picture ID to give to your proctor to prove that you are the one taking this class and taking the test, and that you will have to earn at least a 60% on your final exam in order for your grade to be calculated and you to receive any grade higher than an F. Okay, so 4 unit exams, not proctored, but timed, still important to study for, and you want to make sure you take those seriously. Get good study habits now before you get to the final. When you get to the final, it does have to be proctored. It's on your dime if you choose to use a proctor outside of Eastern. So make sure that you get that done as soon as possible. Now, these are your 2 first homework assignments, is to solidify your proctor and then also submit a warnings page that you understand, what all is expected of you when taking online math. And both of these assignments can be found in Blackboard under that Click Here First folder. So make sure once you get done watching all these introductory videos that you go ahead and get your proctor solidified, okay? If you have any questions, please let me know.